Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Wednesday the 28th of October 2020. So Bitcoin outperforms the Nasdaq over the last 12 months. Bonds bid as dollar skids, lending support to the precious metals. Let's have a look at yesterday. The market moved lower from the open. It was already triggered by some selling that we can see here. Prices moving higher, but then some selling coming into the market. So when the market opened, I sold the open because of this weakness in the background, and also given the fact that normally if you get a down day, you'll get a second one that will follow through, and there you'll see prices trading all the way down to the 200 MA and finding some support there as prices are brought back at the close and the 200 MA. So at this point, profits were taken and then waited to see what the market would do. It started to rally. You could see them buying back into this at this level, very important level. But as we headed up towards the 5-bar moving average there, you can see the selling coming back into the market as prices struggle. They then are overcome by some buying coming into the market as they move lower. They picked up the buyers at the 200 bar moving average, and then prices just fizzled out as again you can see the selling returning there, and at this point you'll see the order ticket up as the market started to break. I sold again, and there you'll see the selling. If prices aren't going up and moving higher, especially when you've had the weakness in the background, they will move lower. I looked at the daily chart for a target. So we've got the 12,089, and there we are down at the 50 level. Got some buying coming into the market here, and also we've got the low in sight as well. So prices then find support, and you'll see in a moment. So we've got some selling here in this bar. We've got the that one there. It's the same as the previous bar, and prices are sideways, and then they resume the downside. I need to take out this low because this is where the buying came in before, and the prices find support at this level, and then come back and close above the 5-bar moving average, and then close back, and then start to get into a sideways move. But eventually we'll start to break, as you'll see in just a moment. We've got some more selling pressure there, and then prices start to come back above the 5-bar moving average, and at that point take the profits off the table. Prices then start to trade sideways and drift in a sort of sideways move there. And then I've zoomed in here. Hang on a minute, I've just moved too far, too fast. So prices are sideways, and then we get a potential buy signal. Prices move higher. They hit the scalp and then head towards where this selling took place here. That's why I've marked this up, because this is the one I was talking about earlier. You got that other selling in the market, and then prices move down towards the low. So here there is resistance in this market, and it's picked up from here. So prices have a look at the 174 level. The volume is 80%, 90% of the previous bar, and it's struggling to move higher. And when you get this sort of dead cat bounce in a down move that's already established, it doesn't take long before prices actually will reverse. You can see them attempting to come back, and again you've got this increase in volume. It's subtle, but prices struggling at this level, which I've already highlighted, is the issue. So prices reverse, and now you'll see them starting to move to the downside and head down to the low, which is what I was hoping for when I was short over here, that we'd actually get down to the low. It always goes and has a look at the low, and you'll see later on in the day as well, when we've got through the low, how I picked up other profit targets as well. So the market, obviously the low is very important. Prices are determined to stay at the low, and that's precisely what happens there. They bring the market back because it's important in a bull market to keep the market off those lows, but eventually that weakness can also prevail and prices move lower, as you can see here just before we finish with the session. We've also got this low over here where we found the support from the last down move. Prices holding at this point. The low has now become a resistance that you can see there, and prices trade down to the scalp before we finish off the session. You've got that support across here, and prices hold just as we finish with the 10 o'clock session. So then at 1:30, because of the hour difference this week, the DAX tries to move to the upside. It's got the 200 bar moving average and the BRN there. We've also got news out, so I'm going to fast forward towards this. We had a potential buy signal that failed, but notice the not failed, wasn't filled, but notice here the support in this market at this level. And again, this is the reason why I've drawn this in, because you've got this all the way across here. This needs to be taken out in order to move lower. We had a potential sell signal, but you can see how prices kept being brought off this. And then we got towards the news, and I didn't do this trade because we were only a few minutes to the news. Prices traded sideways. They filled the order. You can see there, I'm starting to see what the figure's going to be. Prices moved up to the scalp, irrespective of me being in or not. Didn't make any difference. But you can see we've got two lots of potential weakness as prices started to head up towards the 200 MA. So if you got the money off the table on that one, that was great. And in a second, we'll just get the news. Move forward here. I must have already picked it up in that other. There it is, yeah. So there was the news. It came out at 100.9. 102.1 was the target. So some weakness there in the news. Not a great deal, but prices trading sideways, deciding what to do. I thought we were maybe have an attempt to move to the upside at this level because prices shot down to the 20 bar moving average, but then failed. And there we see prices moving to the 200 MA, to the BRN, and that's where we then get the next move to the downside coming in. And prices move sideways to low. I'm just going to wind this back just for a second, because you can see again they were trying to hold the market here, even though this is 80% of the bar that moved lower prior to this. It's still trying to hold, and I thought we were coming back above the 20 bar moving average, but we didn't. We then filled, and again I'm looking at the daily chart. I'll just find that again, see it somewhere. There we go. So we're looking to break the 12,089 and also the 200 bar moving average as well. That needed to be taken out if prices were going to move lower. And also I've still got this in place as the market hit the scalp. The scalp was right on this level. And it was worth this to hang into the trade to see if we could actually break this, because if we could, we've still got the low again, which is the 8.9, and we've still got to get through that BRN, which prices do. And now we're through this, and then the low becomes a support. You see them trying to buy back in here. It's subtle again, but you soon get your mind tuned to what to look for when you're looking at a bar by bar basis at these crucial levels. So what I've done here is drawn in the 12,090, which is the 1 point away from that 8.9. Now prices start to move through this, and we're already up to 43 points profit on this trade, knowing full well that prices can actually spring back. So now the low of this at the 76 I've drawn in, and this 65, by the way, comes in from earlier on in the day. Mid-morning prices traded down to this level and held at this level, and in fact you'll see me draw this in. If I go back, that's what I was doing here. somewhere around here. There you go. So I was looking earlier on in the morning. So in the morning, the market traded down to the low and then kept coming back to it. But these two areas here are where I wanted to see, having taken out the low, where the next downside targets would be. So I condensed all of the prices, found it, and then you'll see, if we can just move forward on this, you'll see me drawing this in, and that's where that level came from. So we'll fast forward back to this level now. So now you can see it below the low, just in case it's broken and prices move lower. But of course, on this first occasion, this is something else as well that you'll see, that prices on the first attempt will try, but then they get brought back very quickly, as you'll see in this next few bars here, how prices hold at this level and then are brought back above the low, because that's the way it works. So taking profits off the table down at these levels is not really a problem at all, because you'll get that attempt to bring prices back, particularly at the low. We know how important this is. And then as prices trade up to the 20 bar moving average, you can then see that they reverse off it. They come back through the BRN and then back through the low. They try to bring it back once more, back above the BRN, and this is the fight that goes on. Got some more selling coming in there with potential weakness, and this shot down very quickly, so I had to wait for it to come back, and you can see it coming back here above the entry price. Fortunately, it got close to the 20 bar moving average, and again offered a really good short. Now we've got to take out this low here, which you can see prices are currently at. So we'll fast forward, and then prices again try and hold at this level, and then eventually trade down to the 65 level that I marked up earlier. And if I hadn't have marked this up, I would have known why prices were trading to this level and then finding support. Fortunately, they continued to move lower and traded down towards the BRN, but you can see at this bar here, I just traded straight to this area here, and it allows you to actually lock in profits and also give you those targets of where prices are likely to go. So we'll just move on here. We're at the 3 o'clock, of course, because we've got that extra, and you can see the volume building there as prices approach the BRN at this time. I'm just going to try and fast forward this. So at this level, as we've got the selling there, and then prices start to make the way back, and it's a case of thanks very much for the trade. Okay, let's have a look at what's going on. The Dow hasn't really given up an awful lot. It's the German DAX that's a lot weaker than the Dow. The reason I'm hesitating, I'm just looking back at these two lows, because the DAX has actually traded to the August lows, which you'll see here. Now you can go, we went to the August lows on yesterday, or the August low was there. Got the July lows, and now we're back to June. So the DAX is a lot weaker on the downside than the Dow at the moment, which is very interesting. I suppose Brexit isn't helping with this, plus all of the lockdowns and all the other measures and everything else in Europe as well. But yeah, interesting to see that we have that weakness. So looking at the daily chart at the moment, what I would do is we've got here, which the market's already trading at, the 11,955. So what this is already saying to me is that it's important to try and keep the market above the 12,000 level. That's interesting for today. They will want to do that for sure, because that's a big psychological number. So they're the previous ones. We'll also want to get back above the 200 MA as well. We've got these other lows over here from July as well, which I'd be inclined to sort of have a look at as well, just in case the market breaks to the downside. Then it's quite possible that we've got 500 points to the downside here as well. So I'll certainly keep an eye on these. Also, one other thing you can do here is use this low and this high as well for any fibs that you wanted to use as well. So from this low up to this high, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this up now, and I'm going to see if we've got any confluence of these two. So we're at 78 there. So let me just, I can see here where they merge, because obviously it's unreadable. So I'm just going to drag that across there. So we've got an 89% and the fib, sorry, 89 fib and 11,800 as well, both at the same level. So I'm going to remove this. I'll remove this. And the most important level is going to be these two here. There I could expect to see some sort of support if we break to the downside. And if we break to the downside, then we head down to that one as well. So now I can actually see where we are. We haven't got anything in between, which is only, well, apart from the 78% fib retracement, which I've removed. So let me just draw that back in for a second. There you go, you've got the 78 there. So still not seeing any sort of no man's land at the moment for the market there. So overnight, let's have a look, see what the market's done. It's tried to move back to the upside already, because we gapped higher at the 12,000, well, certainly the 54 level. They want to obviously get the market back above. Again, you can see this at the moment, can't you? They're trying to get the market back above the 12,000 level, which is this BRN here, and then of course you've got the DP up here as well. Got support here with the 200 MA, and again, if we come down to the low, we could see a bounce off this area as well. Okay, other news, let's have a quick look at the implied volatility. This is sitting at 28.08, having moved up recently. So still some potential for downside weakness here. As again, you can see we're red there as well. But certainly some powerful support in this market. And also today, it's a no news Wednesday. So the market's got to make its own decision. And it could be quiet as well and consolidate after the last 2 days to the downside as well. So be warned of that. There is a bit of movement around there at the moment. We're sort of trading in what we can see there, about a 70-point range to 80-point range at the moment. So a bit of volatility there. The clue will be at 7 a.m. when the futures market comes on stream. Okay, that will do it for today. A bit longer than normal, but a lot of information there and useful pointers, I hope. So with that, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.